And little. Yeah, Donald Trump was in snowy Davos this week at the World Economic Forum. Now, it's odd to see Trump at a ski resort, as we all know famously he prefers water sports. In the audience for Trump's speech on climate change, one of his biggest fans, Greta Thunberg, there she is. She is so into him, isn't she? Yeah. In his speech, Trump denounced climate change, doommongers, and said now is the time for hope, joy, and optimism. And he's got a point. He is being impeached. Finally, in Megxit news, Harry has joined Meghan in Canada to begin their new independent life together. Before flying out, he met up with the Prime Minister. That's Boris, apparently wanting to play rock, paper, scissors. Just look at Harry's face there. I love that. Like, this is why I'm leaving. Here's another shot. That's Boris forgetting what he was going to say. In this one, for some reason, he's pretending to be an airplane. Either that or he's saying, I told your granny a lie this big. OK, we've got a great show for you tonight. Later we'll be joined by Python star and Maverick director Terry Gilliam will be here, ladies and gentlemen. And with the music from singer-songwriter Sara Bareilles. Yeah, we love her. We do. But first, he's an author, musician, director, and one of our greatest comedy actors. Now bringing us new sci-fi sitcom Avenue 5, it's Hugh Laurie, everybody! Woo! They love you. They love you. Thank you very much. Come in, have a seat. Your beer awaits. She's the double Oscar-winning star of Sense and Sensibility, Love Actually, and Nanny McPhee. Now lending her voice skills to new movie Dolittle, please welcome the fabulous Emma Thompson, everybody! Welcome! Woo! Have a seat, too. And taking the lead in Dolittle as the man who talks to the animals, he's played iconic roles from Charlie Chaplin and Sherlock Holmes to his epic 11-year run as Iron Man. Please welcome back the great Robert Downey Jr., everybody! Yay! Hello, sir. Let me introduce you. Come in. There he is. Woo! Lovely to see you all. No, I like it. People have dressed up. Some weeks, a bit scruffy. This week, very smart.
Very, very nice.
Yes.
Where did you get this get-up?
I went into Selfridges and I said, have you got anything that will make me look like a parrot? And they said, right this way, madam. And when I came out, I then realised that they had made me look like a parrot that had mated with Elton John. But I'm quite happy.
Yes.
Check them out.
Oh, yeah.
Wowza.
And Hugh, in a way, it looks like we're in your custody and you're bringing us
For questioning.
from the burlesque.
Yeah.
It was an incident at the burlesque.
I feel like I'm here to sell you both two-bedroom properties.
Ladies and gentlemen, we begin tonight with the first big family movie of the year, Dolittle. It's out on the 7th of February, and it's the famous story of the man who can talk to animals. Robert Downey Jr.,
Yes.
You are Dr. Dolittle.
Correct.
Emma Thompson, who do you give us?
The parrot?
The parrot has a name.
But I mean, I'm not actually there, obviously.
Polly. She's Polly. Polly is the narrator of the movie. She's Doolittle's conscience. She tells us the story.
And this isn't a remake. This is kind of a reimagining of the story.
Yeah.
So where do we find Dr. Dolittle? What happens? But don't spoil it.
All right. He is a hermit and a recluse living on an estate granted to him by the Queen. She's fallen ill. He's pretty agoraphobic, and the animals realize he's kind of got to get out of the house. And then it's just all about how things converge with this young boy and a lady from court named Lady Rose, and then Polly.
Yes.
Along the journey, keeps riding him, telling him, because he has this kind of tragic past that he needs to go on this journey to get well.
Well, I tell you, that's a good introduction to the clip, because the clip is basically Dr. Dolittle being sort of parrot-pecked.
Being told what to do.
Yeah, here we go.
I know this particular voyage is hard for you. It is for me, too. I brought you Lily just when you needed her, and now you need one of your own kind again. Someone without feathers or fur.
Fine, the boy can stay, but it'll be on my terms. And I'll keep him quite busy.
You'll do it with a smile on your face.
Crew! Seems to got a new shipmate.
He's absolutely thrilled to have you.
Oh, that polar bear.
You have voiceover envy, don't you?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Because obviously, you know, you weren't sat in a costume on his shoulder. But what was there? Was the boat there? Was any of that there?
Yeah, the boat was there, and sometimes there'd be animal actors, like folks dressed up in green suits, or sometimes there'd be something at the end of a stick, you know.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Like your usual hallucination. And look, I mean, from all the Marvel movies I'm used to, you work in a vacuum sometimes, and you look forward to the scenes with folks and all that. But it turned out great.
Yeah.
Now, why Welsh? Why Welsh? He's Welsh.
Yes.
He does this amazing Welsh accent.
I do a passable Welsh accent,
It's
which
really
is amazing
good.
for me.
Yeah.
Because I want to do something different than Sherlock or having done Chaplin and all that. And I read about this guy named William Price, who was this nutty kind of neo-Druidic doctor in the 19th century.
I think we've got a picture of him.
Okay, I based my character on him.
So this was a real guy.
You betcha.
And was he kind of a quack, or what? I mean, what was he?
He was a little bit controversial. He was into cremation, which was considered really taboo back then, but it genuinely is, you know, better than aerosolizing decomposing flesh. It's a family movie.
Yeah, you left that bit out. But thanks for sharing it. But in terms of acting with kind of imaginary things, of course, you have experience of this, Hugh Laurie.
I do.
Stuart Little.
That's correct.
Yes. Because I'm told that mouse wasn't there.
That mouse was not there.
That's what I hear. There was no mouse in a
Not
suit.
there. Was there for the first week and then left. Yes. So it was an imaginary mouse, and I did begin to hallucinate his presence. I do remember having a scene where I was supposed to imagine that the mouse was in my hand, and then something went wrong, and they said cut, and I actually put the mouse down. What are you doing?
You were in it.
Get a grip.
Now, one of the things I think that attracted you to this film, Robert, is your home life. Animals. Is it a farm you had?
We wound up inheriting what was an old dog and horse rescue.
Oh, I see.
Up there in Malibu Way, and then there was all these empty stables, and I can't stand negative space. Plus, I'm a softie at heart, and there's a lot of rescue.
So are these all rescues?
Largely,
So
yes.
we've got some llamas.
Yes,
who were,
there's Madre, and that is Fuzzy on the left.
Were they rescued from a hairdresser's?
They were rescued from I needed sweaters.
Like, I think she's gone too short, myself.
She's the alpha, don't mess with her.
And then you've got these lovely cows.
We do, those are Oreo cows. I saw some in Richmond, and then they said they had them up in Santa Barbara. I said, give us a couple.
Belted Galloways, I believe they're called.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go.
Hugh Laurie, ladies and gentlemen.
Cow expert.
I sit corrected.
Belted Galloways. Oreo cows is cute.
Is better.
If
It's
you're,
probably better.
if you're six, that's how you learn.
Yeah, that's an Oreo cow. But then you've got some very ordinary things. You've got some chickens knocking around.
Yes, that's Bert up front.
Oh. No, you don't know the names
No,
of
I'm
the chickens.
kidding.
Okay. Then, now, goats, I feel, are hard to keep. These do
Yes.
that looks like...
That's Trigger and Memo. They are pygmy goats, and they're also brother lovers.
Oh,
Yes.
how very modern.
It's perfect.
Yeah. Do these come in the house?
Not when they're active.
Okay. Is this Trigger or Memo, this one?
Oh, my God. That is our newest one, and his sweet name is Flash. And he's a real rescue.
Because he looks like he's possessed by the devil. And then you have one of the most relaxed cats I've ever seen. To the point of...
That's Montgomery, named after your great general.
That's amazing. He's sort of more of an ointment, really.
He is
melted. The cat is melted.
Yes, he's heavily sedated there.
Because Emma, very at home with animals. Now, in Scotland, do you own sheep?
Yes.
And you commune with the sheep?
That's putting it too strongly. I walked through the sheep field.
You've walked amongst the sheep.
Shouting at them, but
Yes.
yeah.
But isn't there a thing with a stream?
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah.
There usually is.
Yeah. Well, okay. I've never told you this, but
No, please.
some time back. So we have at the bottom of the sheep field. There's a pond where I wash, and there's a sauna, a wood-fired sauna. So we go down there and get in the sauna. And in the summer, I walk to and from with nothing on, much like the sheep.
Yeah.
They're appalled, obviously, just appalled. Just, oh, God. One night, it was a hot summer, there was a kind of real thundering on the door of our place, and it's miles away from anywhere. So I thought, oh, God, OK, the man in the mask has come to take us away. And I was there on my own with my little daughter, who was little then, in little nighty. And we went downstairs and opened the door. There was a massive and very good-looking policeman outside who said, I'm so sorry to interrupt your evening, Mrs. Thompson, but we've had reports of an intruder on your land and your field. And I said, really? Oh, God, when? When was this? Well, it was sometime this afternoon. A woman was walking her dog and she saw a 52-year-old man coming naked up through the sheep. At which point I thought, OK, something has happened, or my boobs have dropped so low that from a distance they read as testicles. I was so embarrassed with this, because this policeman was so lovely and so good looking, I nearly whipped up. Honestly, it's not that bad. I think it was probably me. And he left pronto, but that's what happened at the sheep field.
But now, you have experience of vicious animals. Creature.
No, I feel like I've had a lot of professional dealings with animals.
Yes.
I did a film with a lion once. I had to shoot with a lion, a wild lion. And well, I say wild. I mean, he's been in films.
Okay.
Bad boy.
And we had to do. So I arrived to shoot this scene. And the first thing I noticed was the camera crew were in a steel cage. Only big enough to contain the camera. I thought I'd better ask some basic safety questions. I said, what is the sort of safety thing here with this wild lion? And they said, well, the first thing is we make sure, before the lion works, we make sure that he has sex. Just to take the edge off.
I did that.
And I said, well, I'm not particularly worried about I'm not worried about a randy lion. I'm more worried about the eating kind. And they said, that's all right, because we will feed the lion. We won't feed him too much, because then he'll go to sleep. And I said, again, that's not really... Because I know what it's like. You open a packet of crisps, you have one, but then you kind of want more, don't you? And the third thing they said, the third sort of safety measure, was that the lion's downhill. And he's very lazy, and he probably won't chase you. And again, I was just not really reassured by this. And I said to the chap, but what if it does happen, what are you supposed to do? And he took great delight, a South African handler took great delight in telling me that if a lion charges you, useful advice, you have to reach back, you take a handful of shit and you throw it in the lion's face. And I obviously said, where'd you get the shit from? And he said, don't worry, it'll be there. Very good.
Brilliant.
Now, Robert Downey Jr., we should celebrate this film, because yourself and your wife, Susan, Team Downey,
Yes.
is this your 9th film? Correct. That's an extraordinary achievement.
Oh, yeah.
It is, isn't it? Yeah. And what the working together is that Because I always think, is everyone else relaxed with the husband and wife working together? Or...
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it depends. We met in Montreal, sexy town, doing a movie, and then we're just working together kind of ever since. And we like, you know, it's conflict resolution. So we'll have like, we'll get our yah-yahs out on set. You know, she'll be like, oh God, take the gum out of your mouth, be a professional. And I'd be like, play that back for me again. Let's see. Oh my God, I nailed it. Why are we shooting it again? She'd be like, because sometimes you do more than one take. And so I think we're entertaining. We like, if we're gonna have little spats, we'll have them on set, because then we like going home happy, getting along.
That's,
you know, and then
that's
a little
idea.
nookie, and you gotta do it again.
Yeah. Because Emma and you were the power couple of comedy in the early 80s. It is true. Cambridge Footlights.
Listen to the man. Listen to the man.
No, you were the president.
Research.
You were the president of the Footlights at Cambridge.
Yeah.
And which position? You were
Vice president.
Vice president.
She was my vice.
Couldn't give her up.
I saw Hugh come in. First term we met, we were 19. It's so weird being 60 now and on this sofa.
We've seen each other in between.
We have, obviously, yeah. Fair bit. But I remember, never forget you coming into the Footlights club room. There was a little sort of smoky club room where they did things called smokers, where people smoked and tried to see someone trying to be funny at the end of it. But you couldn't because there was too much smoke. Anyway, Hugh walked in khaki, entirely in khaki. Do you recall that outfit? And you strode about that, and then you had to do an audition. You had to pretend to be the Emperor of China, trying to getting someone to bring him a cup of tea. And you sat in your khaki on a chair like this and just did this. You did the Emperor of China, unable to ask his star for a cup of tea, and I turned to my friend and said, he's a star.
Sounds... yeah, sounds pretty groundbreaking. I don't remember the car. I don't think a khaki. No,
yeah, it was khaki. It was a khaki shirt and khaki trousers. I remember it
very
well.
Unlikely.
But your group, you were the ones who went to Edinburgh and you got the first ever Perrier. Was it a Perrier then?
It was.
It was.
It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
And
Yes.
look, there you all are. Look.
Oh my God.
Children.
Tony Slattery. There's your good friend Stephen Fry at the back there.
Oh, the best.
With
your pipe,
with
for God's
pipe.
sake.
I mean, how old was he smoking a pipe?
What is a 19-year-old man doing with a pipe?
And you and Steve Fry were roommates, right?
We were not, but I spent probably more time in his room.
In his room?
Yeah.
You hung out a lot.
We hung out, yeah.
And we found Footlights theatre programme. Now, I think, is this the one where you wrote each other's biogs? Do you remember doing this?
Did we write each other's bios, or is that a popular
It depends how funny they are.
Yeah.
If hers is funny, yes. I'm going to claim that I wrote it.
So
I bet I did.
this is Emma's, which shaves her head, wears baggy trousers, little round glasses, deplores depilatories, drinks pints, protests regularly, votes Socialist Workers' Party, supports Spurs, eats fire, soaks pulses, wrestles, squats, is concerned, refuses to be stereotyped. Okay.
Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed.
That's pretty good.
You did write that. Okay.
What did you do?
Then
You should claim that one.
This is Hughes that Emma wrote this one.
Ah, that's right.
1981, president of Footlights. Hugh was also a Cambridge rowing blues. In fact, he rowed in the 1980 boat race when Cambridge lost by 5 feet. And if you want to endear yourself to him, this fact is well worth shouting out during the show. Across between Albert Einstein and Clint Eastwood, Hugh is ugly and stupid. He plays a mean guitar and rather selfish harmonica.
Very good.
It is good. But the rowing thing is true.
Yeah.
It is true, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you were
don't know how
probably
you
good
did
at
it.
That's why I went to the university, was to do that and nothing else. All of this, you know, la-di-da stuff, you know, that was...
Woof! Just woof!
That was
Look, woof. No wonder I fell for you.
That was the...
ton of bricks.
Now, that was the American Olympic pair. That was the year that the Americans boycotted the Moscow Olympics. Oh. So they had nowhere to go except the Henley Regatta, and we raced against them, and they trounced us.
Check out the size.
Yes, the legs are very impressive. And I noticed you went for a slightly shorter short. You obviously thought, these are working for me.
Yes, that was uppermost in my mind.
See, Robert, do you feel like you missed out not doing all of this?
I feel like I was there because your stories don't match up at all, so I can just project whatever I want. Did you guys ever have a little nookie or anything? Doesn't matter.
He's got it on a card.
He's got it on his
let's go to the nookie card.
I've got some pictures. Right, Hugh Laurie brings us 2 projects tonight, weirdly, both of which you've done with Armando Iannucci.
It's very strange. It's very strange because we made these things a year apart, if not more, actually, and it was never intended that they should collide the way they have, but various things happened. I don't really understand why, and they've emerged in the same week. It's very odd and probably confusing and unpleasant.
Well, the first is a movie. It's the personal history of David Copperfield. It's out now. And this is kind of... It is his funniest... It's his most overtly kind of funny book. And who do you play?
I play Mr. Dick.
See? Funny.
It's already...
Rings true.
He's a very interesting character, and I think possibly one of the earlier, if not the earliest, representation of a character suffering from a genuine mental illness in novel form. He's a schizophrenic, essentially. He's hearing voices and seeing apparitions. And that was, of course, mental illness in the Victorian time was... I mean, it's not great at any time, but that would have been a particularly sort of brutal predicament for anybody. But he is taken under the wing of Betsy Trotwood, and the two of them sort of form an alliance. And I find it very, very touching in its way. It's a very good... I think it's a very good-hearted film. It's sort of... you sort of fall in love with all of them, even the villains, as it were. It's got a very
wonderful film, and
it's a very good...
amazing in it. You're so good. I have to say that out loud because it's just the most fantastic performance.
Stop it.
Well, let's not poo-poo the other one. You can't just only sell that.
No, I know. But even that pales into insignificance.
So this is the second Armando Iannucci project. In fairness, it's very different. They are not going to be confused.
No,
the second one is Avenue 5. Just started on Sky 1, Wednesdays at 10, also available on Now TV. And it's a great premise for a sitcom. Tell us about it.
We have gone a number of decades into the future, and space tourism has become a common thing. Or this is one of the earlier sort of adventures into that realm. I mean, we sort of projected it 30... I say we, the writers, projected it sort of 40 years. But in actual fact, Elon Musk is already sort of plotting this first. And I think Richard Branson has already sold seats on the first Virgin trip into space. This is a large spacecraft of 5,000 fun-loving people who are going to take an 8-week trip around the galaxy. That's the plan. The plan is upended by a problem. There's a problem. And they suddenly realise that they're going to be trapped in each other's company for possibly upwards of 3 years. And from that moment on, we basically watch the complete disintegration of society.
And we can talk about this because the first episode's gone out. Your character, when we meet you, is this kind of suave American captain, bit of a hero.
Yeah.
But we quickly discovered that isn't who he is.
That's right. I am a fake. The captain is actually not a proper captain. He doesn't really know anything about space travel and isn't even American. He has absolutely no qualifications whatsoever. Because the premise is that what matters is confidence, is reassurance, is the facade is what matters rather than the technical competence. And I think that is a pretty telling statement about the world in which we live, that fronting things out has become a more valuable gift than actually knowing how things work. And I think that's partly accounts for the great anxiety that the world now feels, that we are now bossed by people who have the confidence without, or at least with much, much less competence than the confidence. You know what I mean.
I hear what you're saying.
Thank you. I could have said that with a simple yes.
Yes, we all hear you. Listen, we've got a clip of Avenue 5. This is a clip from next week's episode. Do you want to set it up for us?
No.
OK.
Because it has just completely escaped my mind. What?
Well, I don't know what it is either.
Okay. The answer is, Graham, yes, I do.
Oh, brilliant. That's great. I'm so happy.
It's one of the news that our journey is going to be extended to 3 years has been kept in a very closely guarded, because obviously panic will ensue. And one of the passengers, a sort of busybody passenger played by the magnificent Rebecca Front, has got wind of this piece of information. And so the question of whether or not we're going to be back in 3 weeks or 3 years then becomes the precious nugget of information, which I think we were now discussing. Here we go.
You're good. Don't worry.
This is Kelly.
Okay, so tell me what's going on here. And be straight with me, because I have had enough bull ass to fill a bathtub.
Just between you and me, we may just be looking at an extra.
6 days.
No.
Oh, 6 weeks.
Months. 6 months. What? What's that? What is that?
You should have just said the word 6 months. You dangled 6 days at me, and I got excited, and then you snatched it away.
I corrected you instantly.
You corrected me very slowly, if I may say so.
Very good. Right. My next guest tonight is both a Monty Python star and the acclaimed director of Brazil, 12 Monkeys, Fisher King, and now his long-awaited The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Please welcome the great Terry Gilliam. Hello. Good to see you.
Hello.
Come in. Sit down. Robert, Emma, Hugh.
Oh, God, they're beautiful.
All been leading to this.
I mean, it's to be actually sitting next to a living Norwegian blue is fantastic. Normally they come into the shops already gone.
We're going to talk about the movie Don Quixote, but just before we do, we just need to pass on our condolences about the loss of Terry Jones.
Boy, oh boy.
Which must have been, I mean, it's a sad week for everybody, but particularly for the Pythons.
Exactly. We're now even more endangered as a species. A third of us are gone. I mean, I could talk for all evening about Terry. Terry was an extraordinary, unbelievably wonderful human being. But we're not going to, because we're going to be talking about my film instead.
It's what he would have wanted.
One of the problems with Terry and I, we were both called Terry, so there was already confusion. And the fact is, some people even would mix this up and get it. What Terry had done, they were blaming me for, and vice versa. And now that Terry has now left us, and when next I see the death cart traveling through the streets of London looking for fresh bodies, I want to make something very clear. It's very sad. And what's so sad is to watch what dementia does to people. And it's a long, slow, painful process. And you're watching Terry, who is one of the most full of life human beings I've ever met. Passionate, crazed, angry, happy, everything, generous, sweet, kind. And slowly he's fading away. And in the end, I just think he finally got bored with the whole thing and just left and forgot to take his body with him. And that's what ended up yesterday. His body finally left us. So it's been a long process, but cheers for...
Yes, cheers to Terry. In your mind. In your mind, you're lifting it back.
Come on, get it in, gorgeous. There we go.
So, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is finally emerging, blinking into the light of day. It's opening on the 31st of January. And I mean, it's not an exaggeration to say you have been working on this for, what, 30 years?
Yeah, it's now, I think, 32.
Wow.
It started in '89 after I finished The Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I called Jake Edwards, who had been the executive producer. I said, I need $20 million. I've got two names. One is Quixote and the other is Gilliam. And he says, you got the money. It started brilliantly. And then it went downhill. And in the end, 30 years later, the film is finished for $20 million.
Wow.
Yes.
So, Adam Driver, Jonathan Pryce, really both Oscar-nominated this year.
But this has never happened, where you got the two lead actors of a film both competing for the same Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, they were nominated for other films, not this one.
Yeah.
But you get to see them battling, and I personally, and I honestly believe this, they are better in this film than the two films they have been nominated for. Because you actually see them in full range of their talent. They really go from one thing to a very different thing at the end. It's fantastic.
And the story of this has an odd link to the Holy Grail. Well, in terms of Adam Driver's character is a director who goes to... Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this before, and I forgot all about this.
Yeah, you're okay.
Yeah, because
that's why I'm here.
The character is now a very successful and cynical commercials director. 10 years earlier, he had made a little film which got him into this position, and he had made it in a village in Spain, and these people... real people in this real village became actors in this little film. And the film is very much about what happened to them. And this comes from my guilt when we made Holy Grail in Doon in Scotland, a little village. And all of us Londoners come up with all our chic ways and styles, movie business. And we kind of made a mess of that little town. Marriages fell apart, relationships crashed. People followed us back to London in hopes of making it. And so I kind of felt there's a sense of responsibility that one should be dealing with, which helps the script very nicely, because our main character is now feeling responsible and guilty for the little shoemaker who played Quixote, who has now gone completely and utterly mad, believing he is Quixote. And it's a side of me about responsibility of filmmaking and what films do to us. Cervantes wrote his book about a man who read books of chivalry, knighthood, noble things, and he went bad trying to live those in reality. And we do it now trying to be Tony Stark. But I suppose knights and chivalry and all is now the world of Avengers.
Oh, that superhero stuff. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, the clip kind of plays into that, because this is Adam Driver's character trying to explain to Jonathan Pryce's character, where he came from, that it's about a movie and he's not really Don Quixote.
Look, do you remember years ago, about 10 years ago, I was making a film? You were just an old man I found.
I was lost. Forgotten.
Yeah, right, but then I found you, and I thought, this guy has an interesting face. It's the kind of face I'd use now to sell insurance.
I owe you a great debt, Sancho. You restored it to me.
You really don't remember? Don Quixote de la Mancha, the knight of the mournful countenance.
Come to restore the lost age of chivalry by a special will of heaven.
Yes! Well, I wrote that.
Okay.
I adapted it. The screenplay is a very different language to a novel, but it's...
Blasphemer! The hand of our gods in heaven wrote me, not the filthy paw of some...
Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry.
You may beg forgiveness at the feet of my Lady Dulcinea.
Lady Dulcinea, right, of course. Okay.
As if in a dream.
Yes, sir. So you're not just making it, but then you've got this fantastic response. Was it a this sounds made up. It was a 20 minutes standing ovation.
That's what a friend who timed it said. It felt like an hour.
I mean, that clapping for 20 minutes is...
embarrassing. It's uncomfortable, it's embarrassing. How many times can you bow? How many kisses can I throw to you? It's just horrible. Do not let it ever happen to you. Fail miserably like I have in most of my life.
I found a way.
Yes. I know you guys are used to it. Actually, I've got something for you. I have a little prize, a little present. Okay. This is a letter I wrote in 2009. And I never got a response.
Sounds about right.
Maybe I best just let you read it. Quietly. Or loudly. It's up to you. You need glasses? I do too.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'll read it. I can't see. Fuck, who can read?
I can.
She can read.
Anybody else?
Can you read?
Yeah, come on, let the host read. Come on.
Dear Robert, am I supposed to read this out loud?
Yes.
Why not?
The date is 2009.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. It's like Star Trek. The date is 2009. Dear Robert, enclosed is the latest, fresh off the press, born-again version of The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. I would love for you to have a read and seriously consider the part of Toby, an asshole. From the world of advertising, it makes the long and painful journey to transcendent madness. Don Quixote and love are his guides to his happy conclusion. To collaborate with you on this baby would be a delight. Terry Gilliam. P.S. If nothing else, because of your work on Tropic Thunder, one of the most astonishingly, extraordinarily, brilliantly funny and convincing performances I've ever seen. Okay, enough of the flattery. Please read. Thank you.
Nice.
What a nice letter.
Give me that.
Yeah.
I'm going to frame it. Yeah.
Not a word did I hear.
Look at the letterhead. Poop pictures. Poop pictures.
Poop pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, it was designed. I mean, that is my company's name. It was designed so lawyers and agents and serious people in suits who have to talk about my company have to use baby talk.
It's interesting, though, because Tropic Thunder, which you mentioned in your letter to Robert.
Yes, because I'm hoping we get more about it.
But Tropic Thunder is a film about a disastrous film. Was that in any way inspired, or...?
It's funny, I think Ben was going to do a Vietnam movie, and then when some of the actors came back from boot camp, they were complaining like a bunch of sissies, and he thought it was funny how soft they all were. And then he started thinking about this comedy about a film within a film, which is, you know, to me, that's every story that's worth telling is about something within something else.
Yeah.
Because
you're the very, very best storyteller at these complex things. You are a master filmmaker.
We got the next part, don't worry.
Good. I think we just booked a gig together here.
Yeah, I think it's meant to be.
Take notes, studios.
Yeah. Well, you did it, sir. You did it. The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, finally at cinemas on the 31st of January. And if it's a hit, you can make a sequel with Robert. There you go. Terry Gilliam, everybody.
Right.
Hey. Yeah. Right, it is time for music. In 2015, this Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter composed the smash hit musical Waitress, and now she's making her West End debut in the lead role of Jenna. Here performing She Used to Be Mine, it is Sara Bareilles.
It's not simple to say. Most days I don't recognize me, though it's true I was never attention's sweet center. I still remember that girl. She's imperfect, but she tries. She is good, but she lies. She is hard on herself. She is broken and won't ask for help. She is messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine. And it's not what I asked for. If I'm honest, I know I would give it all back for a chance to start over and rewrite the girl messy, but she's kind. She is lonely most of the time. She is all of this mixed up and baked in a beautiful pie. She is gone, but she used to be mine.
Absolutely stunning. Sara Bareilles, everybody! So beautiful. Come on over and chat, do. Sara Bareilles, thank you so much. Amazing. Come and meet. That's Hugh Laurie, Emma Thompson, Robert Downey Jr., Terry Gilliam. That is Sara Bareilles. Look at you and your little kid. Oh, look at that.
Finally.
Where are you?
Now we're a test pattern.
They said, don't wear red, and I did. So.
Well done, you. That was so gorgeous.
Thank you
Absolutely
so much.
beautiful. Now, I saw you on Broadway doing this, and now you're coming to the Adelphi Theatre, 27th of January, but not for long. Just, is it 6 weeks?
6 weeks. Yeah, March 7th is the last day.
Okay. But, and it's Gavin Creel is coming over as well.
Yes.
I love him.
I know. She knows him.
Oh, okay.
They've hung out.
Steady.
He's got an enormous dog, hasn't he?
He
does have an enormous dog.
And I
dog.
really thought that was so.
I was only half listening.
Yeah. I know, you switched off.
Weird segue. My goodness.
Anyway, so obviously loads of people have seen it because it's been running for years, but if they haven't, Waitress the musical is the story of, obviously a waitress, but...
Yeah, her name is Jenna Hunterson. They served you food.
Now they're interested.
She works in a southern diner in sort of like a no-name U.S. city, and she is an extraordinary pie baker, and she sort of channels all of her emotions into her food, and she's in a loveless marriage and gets pregnant and doesn't want the baby. And then, as you do, has an affair with her gynecologist, and a lot of stuff happens.
It screams musical.
Right. Yeah.
It screams musical. You can get the songs right themselves, Terry. Well, actually, the songs didn't write themselves. You wrote them. And the baking lyrics, you've got that that little refrain, the sugar,
butter, flour. Yeah.
But now, am I right in thinking that's not correct?
So I got schooled very early on I had written this little motif that repeats throughout the show. It's like Jenna goes into her baking reverie, and so I thought, oh, how sweet, sugar, butter, flour. So that repeats over and over again. And then an expert pie baker pulled me aside and was like, you know, there's no sugar, it's salt. And I was like, cool, give me back the tickets to the show. Rude.
That is rude. Because, and do you know who'd know that? Emma's husband, Greg, who is a champion baker.
Ooh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He won Celebrity Bake Off.
Yeah.
He did.
That's posh.
It was posh.
But now you nearly ruined it for him.
Well, they were given this challenge. I mean, it's extraordinary what they're asked to do. Bake yourself in biscuits. Make a biscuit version of yourself.
Well, this was just fascism.
Yes. Run riot.
Run riot.
Anyway, so he created himself, and he decided he'd make a sort of pancakey thing that was a kilt. And so he made a kind of structure, which was him, biscuit legs, and then this kilt. And then more of him up above, and leaves and trees and things. And it was all very sort of Salvador Dali meets, you know...
Biscuit.
Delia Smith. Anyway, I came in one night and drink had been taken, and I walked in and I saw the structure and I didn't really take it in. But then I saw the kilt and it looked good. It looked good enough to eat, so I ate it. And then he came... Yeah, exactly. He came down the next morning and it was just Who ate my fucking kilt? But the kilt's gone.
Who ate my kilt?
Who ate? Yes.
That is a
and
song.
I blamed our daughter.
Yeah.
I blamed our daughter. It's late. What can I say?
So let's wonder, Waitress, the musical, you'll be in it from the 27th
Yes.
for 6 weeks.
6 weeks till March 7th. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for that beautiful performance. Sara Bareilles, everybody. Beautiful. Thank you. Right. Nearly it. But before we go, we do have time for a visit to the big red chair. Who is there? Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Mitch.
Sorry?
Michelle, Mitch.
Mitch. Okay. Where are you from, Mitch?
I'm from the Philippines.
Okay. And do you live here?
I'm studying here, yeah.
Okay. What are you studying?
Social entrepreneurship at Goldsmiths.
I have some...
Good at you, isn't it?
You're so bad.
I was trying so hard. I was thinking, Graham, be nice, and then no, I couldn't. Should we try another one? I may have lost it. Here we go. One more. Here we go. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. What's your name?
Elizabeth.
Hello, Elizabeth. And where are you from? No, Terry. Give her a moment. I think you're in trouble. Where are you from?
Well, I'm from Ohio.
Ohio.
Yes.
Okay. And
But I live here.
Oh, you live here.
Yes.
And what do you do here?
Well, I used to be a school principal, but I'm in education here still.
Okay.
Yeah.
Teaching people?
Training teachers.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Bored now. Okay, off we go to the story.
Okay, so when I was 12 years old, and this is in the mid-'80s, I used to get these Tiger Beat magazines because I had a Robert Downey Jr. board in my bedroom, so I'd get them for the glossies to add to the board.
Touch that.
Don't touch it.
No.
And so, the board was getting a bit packed, so I had this great idea to wallpaper my room with Robert Downey Jr. glossies. And so I pasted his face all over my bedroom wall. And it looked amazing, by the way. Anyway, my dad came home and went completely ballistic. I mean, I got a whooping is what I got. And we ended up having to scrape faces of Robert Downey Jr. off of my bedroom wall, and it was absolute carnage because like there was one eye left. It was horrible, and there were huge holes in the wall, and so my dad had to spackle the wall. He had to repaint the entire wall this ugly seafoam color. And frankly, I blame the whole ordeal on you, Robert Downey Jr., because of your dad.
No. That story turned. Okay, that really is all we have time for. If you'd like to have a go in the red chair yourself and tell your story, you can contact us via our website at this very address. Please say a huge thank you to all my guests tonight. Sara Bareilles, Hugh Laurie, Emma Thompson, Robert Downey Jr., and Terry Gilliam. Join me next week with pop star Lewis Capaldi, actors Jodie Turner-Smith and Daniel Kaluuya, Oscar-nominated Margot Robbie, and comedy legend Jim Carrey. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.